Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Shai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Shai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Howell, Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachakodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. On the pre-Shema, this week's topic is going to be entitled, We Can't Have World War III Before the Hour of Temptation. Okay, World War III cannot take place before the hour of temptation. What inspired this lesson? I was on X. Well, I was shared a link of some article post on X that Lockheed Martin and Raytheon, these are war stocks, military industrial complex companies. They're being bought up to all-time highs, and some of the comments are, well, are we expecting a war? You know, I spoke about a black swan event possibly happening before the election through the spirit. We could have skirmishes of war or rumors and things of that nature, but we can't full-on blow out into World War III until the mark of the beast takes place. Because look, Isaiah 55:11 tells us that the Lord word does not go out void, okay? And Isaiah 14:24 tells us, surely as he has spoken, so shall it stand. Now, let's go into the prophecies, because these things must be done in measure. These things must be done in order. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 10. It says, because thou hast, this is Yahweh Shah speaking. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. The hour of temptation is, the ultimate temptation is the RFID microchip, all right, which is the mark of the beast, okay? That being mandated and forced upon you, whether you take it or not, all right, that's going to determine if you've really overcame the hour of temptation, that moment of temptation, okay? Are you willing to sacrifice everything, you know, financials, family sacrifices if needs be, whatever, your own life, all right, to not bow down to this man's image and take his mark? It says, the so-called white man being this man when I say that, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, right? This thing is going to be global, all right? You know, if you think about it, they want just a universal digital currency asset, makes things easy to transact in. And what's an easier broker for digital transaction than an actual physical mark that could do digital transactions connected in your body? That way when you travel, you don't have to do a currency exchange. All that stuff is being done digitally, because they're going to push it either in the form of convenience and or security, okay? Because that's how they typically do things. And their own founding father, I believe Benjamin Franklin, said, when you give up your liberty for safety, you end up losing both. So, you know, that's what they do. They create these scare tactics, these black swan events, all right, to scare people into succumbing to their whims, right? Now, I said that the hour of temptation has to come first before the chip, before the I'm like Joe Biden right now, before World War III, because Revelations 14:9 reads, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark into his forehead or his right hand, the mark of the beast. This is Revelations 14:9. This is the same mark of beast that we read about in Revelations the 13th chapter, because remember, when this was written, the Bible was not yet codified. So it's not Revelations 13, 14. He's just writing down. We just happened to codify it and said, okay, this is one chapter, now this is the next. But when this was all said and done, it was one fluid prophecy breakdown conversation. So we're still talking about that mark that was spoke about in the previous verses, or Revelations the 13th chapter, specifically the 16th verse on down. It says 10, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb, right? So that tells you, if you take the mark, you're going to be tormented with fire and brimstone in this World War III. There's no way we're just gonna escalate into World War III and nobody get faced with that hour of temptation, because how can scriptures like Revelations 14:9 be fulfilled? 14:9 and 10. You see? Plus, the scriptures tell you that the heavens are gonna melt with fervent heat. Once World War III takes place, that is it for America. That's it. That's a done deal for this place. This is going to be the kingdom for desert-like creatures, okay? 2 Peter 2:9, it says, the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. So the godly shall be delivered out of the day of out of the hour of temptation, but the ungodly, guess what? They're going to be cast in the fire, letting you know that what? That temptation is going to take place, and then the fire is going to come, all right? That's what we're trying to get delivered through, all right? That nuclear fire that's coming to America, all right? And this is why the scriptures tell us that, you know, through much tribulation shall we enter the kingdom of heaven, and that the righteous shall scarcely be saved, because we're going to have to go through many obstacles, all right? And doing these shows and being in the spirit and building up our faith is prepping our mind and faith for when these things come to pass, you know? The key to success is practice, right? Okay, practicing. So when you go to the game, you're successful. So we're just doing this thing over and over and over. So when it does come to pass and we're seeing people kill each other on the streets, the most wildest, craziest things happen, our mind is already going to be prepped for it. We're not going to be that fucked up. It's still going to be very frightening, you know, without a doubt. But we're not going to be that fucked up in the head as other people. You know, we're going to be, you know, having a strong fortitude line in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And I think the proof on that too was in 2020 when they mandated the stabby stab, all right? We had faith. No brother took them stabs, you know? They were talking about, look, if you can't come to your job, you can't do this, you can't do this without it, that without it. We weren't 100% sure where this was going to go. You know, we knew it was bullshit, but we don't know how far Esau was going to take his bullshit. All we know is, look, we're not taking that shit. Do whatever you have to do. And no brother did. And guess what? Brothers' families was also protected, you know? I know my wife got delivered out of that particular situation, right? And I was just having faith in the Most High, you know? And the man had to have faith. She was like, I was like, just calm down, baby. Just calm down. I got this. The Spirit of power of the Lord. Anyways, Matthew 26 and 41, it says, watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak, right? So that's a lot of people's flesh are weak. All of us, we have weak flesh, but in that moment, in that clutch moment, in that hour of temptation, we have to thrust all our faith and fight the biggest battle against our flesh, because it's going to be intense, brothers, you know? But we know once we get through that, boom, World War III, and Yahweh Shah is going to take us back into a righteous kingdom. And that's just something we just keep meditating on, like, man, just a righteous kingdom, no bullshit, no fucking taxes and slaving, and just, man, you know, finally be at true peace, finally be at true rest, you know, not have to walk around seeing abominations and madness. This is the book of Matthew chapter 6, verse 13. This is the Lord's Prayer. It says, and lead us not into temptation. What temptation? The temptation we're talking about. Many different temptations that we go through in our daily lives, but that main hour of temptation that you can't bounce back from if you fail, that RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, okay? It says, but deliver us from evil, bad times. That's the word means. Eve, time, ill, bad. It says, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Wow. So, you know, and you know what we're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. I know we say it every day. But now it's about Shemayim Kodash, Ya Shamka, Yahweh, Malakufka, Tabi'ar, Tazaka, Ya Aisha, Barataza, Kawaha, Ya Bashemayim, Natanala, Lacham, Kalyawam, Slakno, Khawatna, Slakno, Yanawa. Tabi'ahadnawa, Banasaywan, Abal, Hawashinawa, Mayan, Rai, Kayalaka, Malakuf, Allah with the Paratha, Iwalamyam, Wada, Yada. I say that prayer 3 times a day, okay? Which is the Lord's Prayer, all right? And other different prayers, all right? You have to repeat these things in the Hebrew, okay? That way, you know, the force behind them and know what you're saying and having faith in what you're saying, all right? And the Most High shall deliver us, Akim. So I pray with that. You brothers are edified. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rachak Kodash, the belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone Shuvel. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.